This is the Algebra 2 test review for both pre-AP and regular. Question number 1, the absolute value of x minus 2 equals 10. Is the absolute value by itself? Yes. Drop the bars and write it twice. Now get x by itself. Add 2 to both sides. Your answer should be x equals -8 and x equals 12. Question number 2. 6 plus 4, absolute value of 5x plus 2 equals 134. Is the absolute value by itself? No. First thing, subtract 6 from both sides. Then divide both sides by 4. You should get absolute of 5x plus 2 equals 32. Now is the absolute by itself? Yes. Drop the bars and write it twice. Now get x by itself. Subtract 2 from both sides. Then divide both sides by 5. X will equal 6. The other problem, subtract 2 from both sides, then divide both sides by 5. X will equal -34/5. Your answer should be x is -34/5 and x equals 6. Question number 3. Is the absolute value by itself? Yes. Drop the bars and write it twice. Now, solve for x. So add 8 to both sides. Divide both sides by 2. X equals 3x plus 4. Now subtract 3x from both sides. You should get -2x equals 4. Now divide both sides by -2. X should equal -2. There's one answer. Let's go to the second question. Okay, add 8 to both sides. Divide both sides by 2. X equals -3x plus 4. Add 3 to x to both sides. 4x will equal 4. Divide both sides by 4. X will equal 1. Your answer should be -2 and 1, but when you plug this back in, the -2 back in to the original equation, you find out it will not equal, it's extraneous. Therefore, you only have one answer, which is that x equals 1. Question number 4. 5 absolute value of x minus 2 is greater than or equal to 20. Is the absolute value by itself? No. Divide both sides by 5. Now is the absolute value by itself? Yes. Drop the bars and write it twice. One's the positive, and then the other is the negative. Remember to flip the sign in the opposite direction. Now, solve for x. Add 2 to both sides. X is greater than 6. Add 2 to both sides. X is less than or equal to -2. Now you have to graph it. Okay, so you go to the 2 points, the 2 key points, -2 and 6. And now, x is greater than or equal to 6. So that's a filled-in circle going to the right. X is less than or equal to -2. That's a filled-in circle going to the left. There's your answer. Question number 5. Is the absolute value by itself? No. Add 8 to both sides. Divide both sides by 4. Now is the absolute by itself? Yes. Drop the bars and write it twice. One's the positive, one's the negative. Remember to flip the sign. Now get x by itself. So you're going to subtract 4 from both sides and divide both sides by 2. Divide both sides by 2 now. You'll get that x is greater than 1 and x is less than -5. Now you have to graph this. What are the key points? -5 and 1. X is greater than 1, so that's an open circle going to the right. X is less than -5. That's an open circle going to the left. There's your answers. The next series of problems deal with composition functions and also performing the basic operations of functions. Question number 6. G of x plus f of x. So g of x is 4x plus 2. F of x is -x squared plus 2x. You add them together. Now combine your like terms. You should get -x squared plus 6x, 4x and 2x is 6x plus 2. Question number 7. C of x minus f of x. Now remember, this is a subtraction. So remember, write the first one down, write the second one down with parentheses around it, and then put a negative between the two. Now distribute the negative and combine your like terms. X cubed plus x squared minus 2x minus 4. Question number 8. G times h of x. This is a box problem. G of x is 4x plus 2. H of x is 6x minus 4. Now, do each of the boxes. So how much is 6x times 4x? 24x squared. How much is 6x times 2? 12x. How much is -4 times 4x? -16x. How much is -4 times 2? -8. Combine your like terms. You get 24x squared minus 4x plus 8. Question number 9. F times G of 5. Okay, let's do this an easier way. Take F of 5 and figure out what it equals. Just plug 5 into that equation. You get this. Take take G of 5 and plug 5 into that equation. You get this. All right, now what is it you're going to do with both of these? You're going to multiply them together. So multiply -15 times 22. Okay, and you will get this answer. -330. There's your answer. Question number 10. G of h of x. All right, now remember what you're going to do. You're going to take h of x and put it into g of x at the x. So you should have 4 parentheses 6x minus 4 plus 2. Distribute the 4. Add the 2 together with, combine your like terms. There's your answer, 24x minus 14. Now, next thing is, remember, all right, so let me tell you about this so you understand. I made a mistake when I made the test questions, okay, the review questions. So mark out on your paper f of g of 2 and make it g of f of 2. And the same with number 12 and the same with number 13. Now that you've done that, here's what you're going to do. Look at f of 2. Here's f of 2. F of 2, here's f of 2, is 11. Now go to the g, okay? G of 11, this becomes an 11 now. G of 11 is 24. Your answer is 24. Okay, remember when we do compositions, the domain and the range, okay, switch places when you do the composition. Okay, look at f of 5. F of 5 is this. Okay, so it's 51. Now g of 51. G of 51 is 78. The answer is 78. Okay, look at the next one. F of 1. F of 1 is 7. Now do g of 7. G of 7 is 18. The answer is 18. This is real easy to do. Okay, now for the last two questions. Look what they're telling you. F of g of x is 59. That means the ending value of g of x is 59. Go to the table. Here's g of x is 59. So what is the x for that? 27. Okay, now look what they're asking you. They want to know what's the x for f, right? So go backwards. That would mean this is 27, which means the x would have to become a 4, right? So the answer to this question would be 4. All right, let's look at the next question. Okay, f of g of x equals 18. Okay, so look at g of x. G of x is 18. That means the x is 7. Now go to the 7, right? Go to the 7, and the x would become a 1, right? So the answer will be 1. Okay, guys, sorry. Made a mistake. I didn't realize there was a mistake on this. Disregard what, I mean, everything's right. The answers are 4 and 1. But here's what I did wrong. I got these backwards also. This should be g of f of x. So change the question, g of f of x. And this should be g of f of x. Wrote the wrong question down for you guys. Once again, I got it all backwards when I made the questions. Okay, so now we got the right answers. Once again, g of f of x, go to 59, right? Then go to 27. Then go to 27, takes you to 4, so the answer would be 4. G of f of x, right? Go to 18, right? 18 takes you to 7, then go to 7, and it takes you to 1, so the answer would be 1, okay? So I just got the question backward. Change that also on your answer, on your questions, okay? All right, that ends part 1. For the regular students, that's all your test is over. For the pre-AP students, go on to the other film you have to view for this. Good luck to your regular students on this. Just study hard. You ought to do just great on this. Bye-bye.